Welcome back, everybody. It's episode number 53 of X's and the U. We are going to dive right into the Union's off-season and preseason and soon-to-be season uh, for this season for 2026. Again, I am Matt Gendazzik, former president of the Sons of Ben, joined with ex-head capo Adam Booth and ex-player forever legend Sebastian Latou. Gentlemen, how are you today, and are you ready for the season?
Always
Doing,
excited, always happy.
yeah, doing great. Just still a bit cold, but hopefully warmer soon here. It'd be nice.
Yeah, Seba's in lovely Chester. I'm in the city of brotherly love, fresh off a trip to San Francisco, so I'm a little exhausted. And Adam, I'm assuming you are in the city of Philadelphia as well. So I don't know. Let's get into this. Union news. Let's see. Ty gone. Jacob gone. Kai gone. Ure gone. Anywhere else I'm missing, Seba, that is from the supporter shield champion to no longer on the team?
No, I think you got everybody.
Yeah, Bedoya back, so that's good. The captain's back, and obviously, and we'll talk about this. Quinn's still out, so I don't know, but I wanted to start the show off with a little game with you guys. It's
Hold on, Matthew.
yeah.
How are you gonna forget the legend himself, Donovan?
Chris Donovan, yeah.
Chris Donovan gone.
That would make this game easier for all of us, so I'm going to not include him. So I am going to put Ty, Jacob, and Kai in, and we're going to play bench loaner start, which is our version of F Marry Kill, that family-friendly game for kids of all ages. So out of Ty, Jacob, and Kai, Adam, who do you bench? Who do you loan? Who do you start? Like, who would you really want to keep out of all this? It should be obvious, but just wanted to get your thoughts on who you're benching, loaning, or starting out of the three main that we have lost.
This is one of the easier games you ever put together. It's definitely you start Kai, you bench Glesnes, and you send Ty Baribo into the universe. He had a great season. I'm not against the season I saw him play, but I have no indication he can do that again. I have no indication that he can be consistent about it without, incredible service that he got from Kai Wagner and others. So, and again, this is no slight against Ty Baribo. I really hope that he does good things that help the Union in the standings, but not against the Union while he plays for DC United. But that seems like one of the easier games ever. Kai Wagner is not going to get enough credit for how good he was in Major League Soccer because he wasn't one of the sexier names to ever come across the ocean to play in MLS. But he's sneakily one of the greatest left backs this league has ever seen. And it's crazy to think about the shift he put in before being sent off and the immediate impact he's had since going on to Europe.
Yeah, and we'll touch on Kai right after I want to get Seba's answers. Bench loan play.
I do the same as Adam. I think he got it right. For all the reason he just said, I think it's age as well. Kai a bit younger than Jacob. Even Jacob, he's a very good player for the team over the years he's been there. So, and Ty, yeah, for the value, I think you can always have another forward, and it's it's pretty much like the same as Adam. I think it was a good call, Adam, on this one.
Yeah, and I'm going to go against Green. I agree with the Kai call. I actually swapped Ty and Jacob just because of what the Union did and all the center backs that they brought in. You're like, okay, we got younger, maybe more athletic. So I was like, that only difference. But yeah, let's touch on Kai because it is a loss. But I think everybody knows because Kai put out the statement. But the Union made a deal with Kai, and whether it was ownership or Ernst or everybody, they just said, hey, if you get a chance to play in Europe at a high level, meaning Champions or Premier League or Bundesliga, we won't stand in your way. And Birmingham City came to calling, and so there was never any intention of selling Kai before this. That's why there hasn't been a left back coming. So, I mean, it's going to hurt, and we're going to see. And Seba, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be Frankie playing left back because he did so with Union 2? or do you think they're going to try to get Nate, or what do you think? Like, are they going to play 3 center backs across the line? I have no idea, but you've seen a little bit more than us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's just I think they're going to try out, a few guys probably and see who is the most comfortable. But you still, want to get some offense on the right side. So is Frankie more offensive maybe than Nate? With Nate, can play a lot of different positions in a back line. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to kind of start at this position. But yeah, it's definitely very hard to know, knowing that we don't have really like a lefty as a position as a left back, which is much more better to get in a squad. They are probably looking to get a replacement for Kai, but as of now, yeah, we will have to go with one of the maybe right back as a position to play left for a little bit and see how it goes.
And without getting into it too much, we were told that they've been actively looking for left backs. I heard that there's 2 guys, but the negotiations with the other team is not looking great. So it looks like the left back edition is going to be a during the World Cup break edition from what we were told. So hopefully we can take advantage of the schedule and it doesn't bite us in the butt that Kai left. Adam, any thoughts on Kai? Because I don't know if you saw, he's actually doing pretty well for good old Birmingham City.
I think it's a testament to how good of a player he was, the loyalty that he had to this team. And yeah, I mean, look, I think if any Union fan is truly honest with themselves, he was probably here 2 to 3 years longer than I think a lot of us thought he was going to be, because we saw this talent for a very long time, So this is one of these moments where you have to do the reckoning of your Major League Soccer, and you are the resting place for some, and you are the pinnacle for others. But for a lot of these guys, you're a stepping stone, and he definitely deserved to test himself against the best in the world. And on the trajectory of Birmingham City, he might have the opportunity sooner rather than later. So, good for him. Way to continue his journey. And it's really a feather in the cap of the Union that they were able to just have a talent for so long, to be able to scout such a talent for so long. And it's a beautiful thing. It's every time I see a Union player succeeding in Europe, whether it's Mackenzie or whether it's Brendan, it's really exciting to see these guys living their dreams over there.
Yeah, so best wishes to Kai. But hey, here's the good news: out with the old, in with the new. Well, also re-signed. Ben Bender's back. You got to be excited about that. We did say Ali. And I want to get, I don't know how much Seba's gotten to see anything from Spain or any streaming, but I mean, we got a bunch of center backs. I mean, we got a Danish center back, Larson. You got Finn Sundstrom, a couple forwards. Did we sign Martinez yet or not?
We did, yes.
We did, yeah. So we got Martinez back, another center back. So the whole back line's looking different. The forwards are looking different. I mean, it's the midfield's kind of the same. So we'll see. And the teams, looked okay in Marbella or Marbella, and they're getting back. They're actually in Clearwater, and I believe they beat the mighty Tampa Bay Rowdies yesterday, 2-1. So that's pretty impressive. And they play today against Montreal, and it's going to be streaming on the Union site. I just saw that, so I'm going to hopefully be around and not so busy that I can glance at it. But Seba, have you seen any of the new guys in training up close, personal? Get an idea of like what they look like?
No, not too much. They spent a couple of days here, in Philadelphia when they came back to start the preseason. But it was pretty light practice. Not everybody was here yet. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of new faces, young faces, names that maybe we don't know a lot about. So I think, like you said, a lot of center backs who maybe one of them might be playing a different position. If we need in a back line, like we talk about the left back, so maybe one of them could be the left back. Who knows? With all the good center back we have, with Macania coming back this year, probably as a leader of the defense. Ariel could play center back as well, like he did a few times. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do. Like you said, they play tonight their last, I think, preseason game against Montreal. So whoever will watch, tonight at 6 p.m., you probably will have a better idea about what the, let's say, starting team will look like maybe in the Champions Cup on the 18th. Because usually, like when you do a preseason, you have like really the first team starting, in their last game, playing probably minimum 60 minutes. Probably some of them will go 90 minutes as well to get the game fit. So for all the Union fan, if you want to have a little look about what preseason look like and how the coaching staff is feeling about some guys, physically and, and let's say with the adaptation to, the squad and whatever they have been trying to do from last year, you will probably see tonight like the starting 11 or close to the starting 11. We will see probably next Wednesday in Trinidad. After, a lot of things can happen. It's still preseason, so we know Carnell and the coaching staff love to, switch around, some of the guys. It might be some knock here and there, preseason is a bit weird. So after, like you said, in offense, we'll definitely see probably Damiani coming back with probably Alado, the biggest signing this offseason. And hopefully, they have enough time. It was a shorter preseason this year because of the Champions Cup, so not as much, time together. And yes, they've been away, most of the time. Like you say, Marbella, which was, I think, a good thing last year to get the group together for 10 days, like out of anything and get the team spirit, going back. And then, a couple of days now in Florida. So hopefully it's enough for them to get everybody together, same goal, same team, like team spirit like they've been building last year. And we'll see. But no, exciting to see what all those new signing will bring, this year to this team. And all the guys who, had their first year in the belt with the team, like I'm talking about the Lukic, the Denleys, the Macania, Damiani, even Westfield, came into it. Now what can they do and confirm, all what they did last year to, get another great season for them.
And Adam, I mean, just touch on it as you only can, but this is one of the most active off seasons I think we've had. I mean, the whole back line, the center backs, forwards coming in. Even when Seba said it, like I just immediately wanted to jump up and be like, that Macania goal, I thought he was going to hit his head on the crossbar at that preseason games, and he was a player that we weren't sure last year, but really proved himself. So what do you think of the not Ernest Tanner moves that we have made this year and the turnover in the staff? And and remember, last year we thought we were going to be in like 7th or 8th place and we win the damn Shield. So what do you think about the new squad and your expectations?
Well, I was going to even point out, I don't even think you mentioned that Agustin Anello was signed today. He was announced. So you have another forward added into the mix. He was signed from Boston River.
I was trying to find the breaking news horn, but I couldn't find it anywhere. That's why.
And look, I mean, there is movement in Chester. And look, it's like one of those episodes of SVU. Everyone thinks that the crime is solved in, a 45-minute wrap up. Like, no, this took months and months and months. So I'm sure Mr. Tanner, despite his absence, had his hands in a lot of these moves before they were, made to completion.
Oh, the DNA is all over the crime scene, my friend. Don't you worry.
I mean, look, we have a situation here where the Union are making a lot of movement happen. And it just because they haven't signed a left back yet doesn't mean that the attempts aren't there. A lot of the things that were drawbacks, that a lot of the people who are detractors of the Union's movements in the offseason, it's kind of hard to be that critical outside of, well, did we sign, Jaime, Rodriguez? Like that's, the Union are never that team. They're never really going to be that team. And until they sign Antoine Griezmann and completely blow my mind in a couple of years. But like for now, definitely not their DNA. So the fact of the matter is they lost players. They had turnover with players. They lost players who were legends of the club. I think a lot of people may have thought about it tactically as a smart move, but emotionally, their attachment to guys like Jakub Glesnes, their attachments to guys now, Ty Baribo, especially coming from buried on Curtin's bench into superstar that propels them basically into Shield contention from the very beginning. All of these guys now moving on, there's that emotional connection. But if you look at it and you look at the DNA and the history of this club, this is a really exciting offseason. And the amount of talent that they brought in, young talent that is going to be able to grow, and individuals that are hungry to prove themselves. I think above everything, the Union thrive with gentlemen who are ready to excel at this level and hopefully propel themselves to the next level, which you don't necessarily get that from a lot of these superstars coming here to kind of do the twilights of their career. So I think that's the modus operandi. This is why this team still competes for shields and trophies year after year, when a lot of these teams who sign larger players don't necessarily have the immediate impact. So I trust this particular process very well, and it looks very fruitful at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, we know this. They always try to go team first. They go development, but let's give them credit. They've redistributed the money that they brought in for selling the players to getting new players. This isn't like they sold somebody for $4 million and only spent $1 million. They've been spending some dollars. Is it in a bunch of commas? No, but they're spending, and they're getting young and they're getting athletic. So I don't know. I'm definitely excited. And you know what is really good is that I have one thing before I get into this really quick, because my biggest concern, and I want to get Seba and Adam your thoughts, like, who is going to replace Quinn Sullivan before the World Cup break? I mean, I'm really concerned that we don't have anybody that's creative, and I'm going to give you the cringiest quote that I heard in the all season. This is from Quinn's younger brother, Kevin. I'm going to work my balls off trying to earn my spot. I don't know why I didn't need to hear that quote from a 16-year-old kid. But, it was out there, so I just wanted to point it out. But, I mean, is Kevin going to be able to fill in for Quinn? Where does that come from? Is it Ben Bender? Is it Indiana? Like, where do you think we have somebody to give us what Quinn gave us before he hurt his knee? Because I don't see it anywhere, and that's my biggest red flag of the season.
I mean, you saw it. Like, I feel like if we keep playing, with the two number 10 as of now, I think it's Ilosky and Vasilev, is the one who are going to be probably, like, for what they did last season, they should be, in a starting from the beginning, just with what they earned from what they did last year. But then, of course, they need to confirm. And yeah, they will probably get pushed by some younger guys behind. Cavan is probably one of them who can be, coming in to make a difference. And then you have Ben Bender. You could have another young guys. You can see maybe one of the signing as well. Like you just talk about this forward, we just signed, but maybe he could play as well as a 10. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of like unknown in the team, but no, it's exciting to kind of have that, in a group, to know that there is some spots who are not locked. You can have Bedoya coming in for 50 minutes and help, at those positions as well. It's not as defensive, but he could do it as well. So it's interesting to see, where they give, the guys some motivation to earn a spot. And I think, yes, some guys really played well last year and should be the starter, to start the season, but they need to confirm. You cannot just do one good year or one good half a season. Quinn, I think, is a different player than those guys, than a Vasilev or Ilosky. Vasilev, Ilosky is more a guy who go in the pocket, find the ball. Quinn is more a winger type, like the 1v1 on the side and maybe make some run behind. You might not see that as much from Vasilev or Ilosky, but it's good to kind of get the option from the coaching staff. So hopefully, Quinn, do all what you have to do, and he's doing a good job right now with the rehab. And hopefully, after the World Cup, we can maybe see him helping for the end of the season, and we will need it for sure.
Definitely. Adam, any thoughts on who can step in for Quinn before we get him back for the World Cup?
I mean, I think Seba said it. The gentleman who grabbed the number 10 shirt, I think, is going to have a really big impact this season. And I appreciate any person who decides in their career, I want the 10, the 9, or the 7. You know, those guys are dogs, all of them, because they understand what the assignment is with having that number. And we saw the creation that Milan had, as well as the goal scoring capabilities he had. There's a lot of Daniel Gazdag there that I saw, and I like what I saw with that. So I think those guys definitely have the creation capabilities. But I really enjoy the fact that we all agree that it's Quinn Sullivan's, you know, creation that's really going to make an impact for at least the immediate future of this team once he gets healthy. Because what we saw towards last season and right before he got hurt was he was definitely taking this role from being a young person on this squad into being a true member of the first and true member of the 11. And it was really, really fun to see the maturity, especially with all of the hype his brother is getting. It's really interesting to think about the psychology of what Quinn is going through during all of this, because he's quite talented. He definitely should be on the radar of the national team moving forward. And what does his future hold is going to be a very interesting question. So, and he's taking this with maturity, with stride. From everything I've seen on the outside, at least, he's been a model citizen. So I'm very proud of what he has done so far and really excited to see what his future is. But look, we got dogs. You know, I really like what Indiana Vassilev brought to this team. And I really love the idea of these gentlemen that were borderline unknowns to a lot of the Union fan base, unless you were staying up to watch late night soccer on the West Coast. You know, unless you're really a St. Louis City guy, you're not really seeing where these guys are coming from. And for them to have this immediate impact and just show their capabilities and to show that, you know, they can just, as much as they can distribute, they just go get the balls and go score goals on their own. It's really exciting to see the depth that we kind of have at this position and at this time. So I'm excited. I actually think this will unlock some other people's potential with the absence of Quinn Sullivan, you know, and motivate him for his return.
Yeah. Well, before I get into what's been happening around the league, because there's been all kinds of things happening around the league, let's talk about it, Adam. It's your favorite subject of everything. New kits. But it's old because it's the 1976 or the 1776 kit. Just got dropped. So, Adam, I want your thoughts, and then I want to see what Seba, like, is Seba jealous that he's not going to rock one of these on the field? You know, what's your thought? Adam, I think you're muted.
Like most things, these get leaked before the actual announcement. So I saw these a couple of days ago, and I was pretty sure they were going to be a warm-up top, but they turned out to be the actual kit. And I don't dislike them. You know, I think one of the things that I appreciate, we were talking earlier about the fact that a couple of years ago, and Seba even played in these kits where the MLS was just wearing all white one time, when they basically, Adidas just made the exact same kit for every single team in MLS to be their away kit. And a lot of people were screaming for creativity and diversity and at least a little bit of gusto from Adidas when it came to kit design, make these things, you know, unique, at least to these clubs, even if the template was going to be the same. And I think this is the 100% that, you know, this jersey can be confused with no other city. It will be worn by no other city. And I appreciate the lean into Philadelphia culture, because I do believe this club, whilst wearing Philadelphia across the chest, has had a very interesting relationship with the city itself in terms of branding and in terms of advertising and in terms of identifying with. And I think this is a very nice nod, especially during the 250 anniversary, where Philadelphia will be a definite spotlight city throughout the year. I don't hate them. You know, I would like to see them in person. You know, I'd like to see them with someone sweating in them to see how that kind of looks too. That's always very important. But you know, at least we're stretching our wings of creativity, Adidas. I appreciate that.
All right, Seb, it's your turn. Are you any jealousy not being able to wear the kit, or is the mustard kit still the best kit ever, the OG kit?
No, no, not jealousy, of course. No, I would always love to wear the jersey, and probably will have one of those each year. I got one, which is nice, to see all of them with my name in the back, even if I don't play anymore. But
Oh,
no, I
what
think it's
number? What
number
number do
nine.
they give you? Okay, good.
Number 9. Number 11 was just because Jack McInerney didn't want to give it back to me. That's it. And then I get it
I
back
love
because
it.
Andrew Wenger was very nice.
It's his
So
it's his 45. Like Seba has his separate number when Jordan came back with the 4-5. Seba has the 11.
Yeah, has the 11 exactly.
no, but I like Adam said. I think this year they did a pretty good job, especially to celebrate the 250 years of the Declaration of Independence. I'm looking forward to see it, close and see all the details they put on it. I think it's pretty cool, and it's the jerseys that a lot of people who will get it this season can probably like keep it for a long time because there's a bit more special than maybe the one of last year, or the one that we had a couple of years. I would say like the year one is definitely a special one, even if there's not something crazy on it. But like this one, there's for sure more details, and the people who love history will probably like all the stuff they put on it, and I'm sure I'm going to learn more new stuff about the history of the city.
And Seba did want to point out to y'all that if winning the Revolutionary War was a goal, France had the assist in 1776. So you can celebrate that assist with Seba.
I'm waiting for the Marquise de Lafayette panel that they're just supposed to have on the corner just for his just contributions and all that. But look, you know me, I'm a kit guy. I'm excited for at least some variation. We'll see how they look all together. I didn't mind it. I very much enjoyed the video. I thought that was a very well done. I always think if anything the Union do right, and they do a lot of things right, but if anything the Union do right, their social media team is second to none. The way that they do their productions, the way that they do these videos, the way that they drop, memes, all of that, they are very elite. So, hats off to the team that did that, though, for sure. I'm excited. New kits are new kits. I'm excited.
And there's one thing we can guarantee. Every time there's a new kit, it's split. People love it or they hate it, and it's just something for the Twitter bots to go crazy on. And you know what? Keep talking about it. It's fine. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to purchase one. Maybe I'll see if I can get a number 9 on my. No, I'm not going to do that. But
and look, and my last point is, I understand we've kind of locked ourselves into a template with the center stripe as being like one of the key features of the home kits. But look, like any other club out there, I like some variation. I think you'll see in even the Premier League, La Liga, all these times you gotta spice it up every once in a while and give it something that's memorable. And these are for sure memorable.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit of league news, just like the highlights, because there's just so much going on and still so much going on. Toronto and Josh Sargent and all this stuff. But I mean, the funniest thing I saw is the last time we did this pod, we were talking about a team in Scotland, and Seba's like, well, that coach isn't doing very well. Well, guess what? Wilfred Nancy got fired after Celtic paid for him. So that was, I thought, wow, Columbus traded and got compensation for a manager, and then he got fired with Seba. Was it 6 games he was in? I think something like that. 6, 7, not even.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, not much.
So, I mean, all I'm going to say is good job by you, Columbus, because you got paid and he's back out there. So Wilfred Nancy released. MLS published the 2026 GAM, Adam. You want to know how much GAM the Union have?
How much GAM do we have, Matt?
We've got GAM upon GAM. We got $4,744,841 in GAM. But that was before all of this movement. But yeah, we were loaded in GAM.
So what is I
don't know what that means, by the way.
Out.
Yeah,
we have to figure this out. This is the weirdest. No other league deals with this weird monopoly money like we do in Major League Soccer, where we have TAM, GAM, YAM, SAM.
I'm going to ask Richard and Jay if they'll let us swim in the GAM pool, where they put all the GAM money in a pool and you can swim in it. Just see if we can hop in real quick
Just make sure it's dollars and not coins, because you're definitely going to break your neck otherwise.
Yeah, Scrooge, if I could do it, I could do it. We'll be fine. Don't worry. But the Major League Soccer did extend the transfer window to align with Europe. So we've got the past January 26th to March 26th, and then the secondary windows July 13th, World Cup action, to September 2nd. So I thought that was pretty interesting that now we're more aligned with Europe, and we're going to see how that affects. And we know we need a left back, so we're definitely going to need that.
Speaking of being aligned with Europe, hey, Seba, got a quick question for you. So we were playing the European calendar. Probably last weekend would have been a match of some sort. How do you think people would have dealt with playing in, I don't know, 10 degrees Fahrenheit?
I think whoever is in charge of making the schedule should make those games to California, to Texas, to Florida, and not really on the East Coast. But I'm not in charge, but it's what I will do.
Yeah,
this is insane. I was talking with my friends in Europe the other day. They're like, yeah, we're moving to the European calendar. And they were just like, aren't y'all colder than us? I'm like, substantially, yes. But cool, we'll figure it out. It's fine. It will, whatever. Because if this was just Philadelphia, God forbid Minnesota has a home game before, I don't know, April.
Adam, keep in mind, 2 weeks ago when that ice storm came, that was Dallas, that was Houston. I had to go to Houston for work. I had to fly into New Orleans and drive to Houston because I couldn't get into Houston because they had ice. So it was, some of this weather in our January, February, like I thought about going to Clearwater to see if I could catch a game. Don't bring your suntan lotion. You don't need it. So I don't know. It's just weird weather. So yeah, I'm hoping somebody in the front office is listening to Mr. Sebastian Letou about being smart about how they schedule this, because
And guys, every problem has a solution. So it's going to happen. We saw some team like Montreal playing in their dome when they cannot play outside. I'm sure maybe Minnesota can rent the NFL stadium for one game or two, whatever it is. So you can always find a solution. But I think we have enough team now in this league to be able to play where the weather is a bit warmer for those months, and figure it out. Because you don't want to play in Dallas when it's 104 degrees. It's the same thing. Like, you don't want to be there in the summertime or in Miami. It's not fun to play.
What's worse from a player's perspective? Would you rather be sweltering hot or freezing cold?
After, I think it's just a personal thing. For me, I prefer to be hot and sweaty than cold because you cannot feel your toes.
Yeah,
God bless us.
As a fan, I'd rather be sweating in the stands than freezing, But we're going to see what we're going to do. But I think we need to maybe start some a winter wear line for the X's and the U. We can sell, thermal underwear and thick socks and brand it, and we can just sell that in the parking lots and monetize this issue. Sebet says, there's a solution for every problem. He's making lemonade out of our lemons. So we're going to monetize this, Adam.
MLS needs to team up with Burton or or Columbia or one of these brands to just do a full functioning line of cold weather gear for fans and players. Because we should bring back the long sleeves, mandatory during the months of January for all players. It seems dumb.
Adam,
it seems dumb.
We're
doing it. So
you saw all the proud Philadelphians sledding and snowboarding down the Art Museum steps. Why not do that at Subaru Park in the River End? Once it's snowing, we can just sled down the hill. It'll be a blast.
I'll be there. I'm going to be the idiot that's there. I'm going to be there. I'm
shirtless?
Just saying.
You going shirtless?
Absolutely not. I have a child. I'm someone's parent.
Not him. He doesn't have to be shirtless.
No, but I have to return home after this. I'm going to be frozen like those people on Everest.
He doesn't need your nipples. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, man.
You make a fair point.
Yeah. God. But no, the league has been crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen anything. I know Josh Sargent's coming, but Adam, your thoughts I don't know, was he a Chelsea legend? Timo is going to San Jose. Timo Werner is going to San Jose. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Timo handles the MLS. I forgot he was still playing, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think there's a bunch of teams in Major League Soccer that are more concerned about selling jerseys and winning trophies.
I can see that, yeah.
And here's the thing: some of them you can do both. Like LA, you can do both. You can bring in Son and you can win. You can with Mueller in Vancouver, you can bring him in. You can also win. But I think there's a lot of clubs that are just more concerned about winning jersey sales and selling out seats, which again is capitalism, is business, is a bigger part of what this all is. But when's the last time San Jose has been truly competitive?
Not gonna touch it. But Seba, any team out there, just off the top of your head, that had some off-season moves, who did you think did, like, not the Union, obviously, because we're so close to it, but anything you saw where you like, oh man, that team really just did some wheeling and dealing that I was like, oh, they're going to be different.
I mean, I don't even probably know all of the move of every team because there's so many teams and so many things happening and still happen, and we saw today with the Union sending a forward. No, I mean, I feel like for me it was the LA Galaxy a little bit from like the great years they had 2 years ago and then the terrible years they had last year. You can see that they reinforce themselves, especially defensively. Glesnes is a part of it. So yeah, I would probably say Galaxy might be a little bit probably better this year just because of who they signed and they took some, like, let's say, experienced player to play defense, and then they have good offense as well, but they give up so many goals last year that they had to do something. So I would say Galaxy could be a better team this year than they were last year for sure.
Yeah, it's just this offseason's been crazy, and like Seba said, there's so much going on that I'm checking 4 different websites, going, oh my god, I can't even keep track. I need I need that cork board with the yarn on it, Adam, just to like track everything. But it's going to be an interesting season. I'm looking forward to it. But here's kind of for everybody, your schedule. Today, February the 10th, 6 p.m., we got Montreal in beautiful Clearwater, right by the Philly Stadium, and they're going to stream it. So that's going to be cool. I'm hoping I can watch it. And then they go from Clearwater to Trinidad for the first game against Defense Force in the Champions Cup. That's February 18th. Season home opener, February 21st in DC. I'm tinkering. Do I want to take that drive down? I don't know. But then the home opener against Defense Force is February 26th. And then March 1st, we start at home again. So it's kind of a complex, like, oh God. And Adam, as we said, pack your long johns, bring the hot cocoa, smuggle a flask in because you're going to want to stay warm. But, the season is upon us. Just want to see what you guys really think. Seba, what are your thoughts? Defense Force, how are we going to do? Like, what's your thoughts? We've got a lot of games. It's a gauntlet of a season this year. So what are we thinking? Do we have the depth to make this happen?
Sorry, I think so. Yeah, it's a long season, but with a break. I feel like there's 2 parts of this season, from now until the World Cup, and then wherever we are, it's makes the push for the second half of the season. But it's just, like you say, buzzy at the beginning. With the Champions Cup, will take a lot out of this team, but it's all about how they start and the way they, let's say, have some little stretches, of like 4 or 5 games as they usually do. But if we always do well in those stretches like they did last year, I think we'll be fine. It's just right now, defensively, how can we quick back on how we were last year, so good, beside, of course, the game against Vancouver when we gave up too many goals. But other than that, we were the best defense. And hopefully the new guy coming in, step in and have a big impact right away in the team, and all the guys who did well last year keep playing at the same level, and I think we should be fine. But no, it's exciting to for the players, I think, to have all those games, because again it's and we saw group thing. It's not just again 11 players or 14. It's going to take probably for the first half of the season like 20-25 players to come in and do something good for the team. So no, exciting to get started. You start with the Champions Cup, but yeah, a lot of big game right away. DC who wants to do better, playing against Ty Baribo, the ex-Union player, and then play New York City FC who eliminated us in a playoff. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting start of the season, and hopefully we had a great start like we did last year.
Yeah, I'm interesting for the champions just because do I think we get through the Defense Force? Yes, I do. After that, I don't know who the winner of who we see is going to be interesting to say the least. But Adam, your thoughts at the beginning of the season, the depth, how you feeling good? You got the swag.
I mean, look, I'm excited we're in all of these things. I'm excited, that we have the opportunities that we have. It's going to be an interesting season. I think if this team can gel and figure out themselves and their identity sooner rather than later, then that gives us the best opportunity to see some hardware come back this season from one of these competitions. Who knows which one? But look, I don't think anyone had any expectation in this team last year, and then they led the league basically wire to wire. It's one of these situations where you just kind of have to be like, hey, anything can really happen, and that's an authentic way to describe life in Major League Soccer. So yeah, but this team has the depth. This team, if these moves are fruitful, if they've done what I think they've done, which is, I believe, made this team better than the team from last year. I believe if you look at the additions roster-wise and their potential versus whom we've lost, this should be a better team than last year. So I want to hope that they're competing at the end and trying to take on the Messis and the rest of the teams in this league for hardware. And I want them to do it because I also want this way of life to succeed. I think that the Union strategy on how to win soccer games in America makes sense to me, a lot more than this go for it all in gambles. I think building something and building a sustainable winner is much more fruitful. So I would like for it to succeed, not just because it's my club, but I believe in the model, so this is but I believe this is going to be a very interesting season for not only just Major League Soccer, but the Union as a whole.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. Now, before I go into the preview of what's coming up on the podcast, totally unrelated to anything Union or soccer, Adam, Seba, I need some advice because I was scolded recently during text messages. Have you heard this, Adam, that now if you do the thumbs up emoji to these young kids, that it's rude and it's dismissive and they get offended by that? You've heard this. I've not heard this before. And as someone that we text in our group little text, I think me and Seba are a lot of thumbs up kind of guys. So Seba, have you heard that apparently us texting people and giving them the old thumbs up that we're being jerk-offs to them apparently?
No, first news. I didn't know that. So
I don't know if young Xander's listening in, but like if I give him a thumbs up, is he like going, yo, boomer, what are you doing? You're offending me. Or are these kids just soft, Adam? You tell me. I'm thinking they're soft, but are they soft?
I can't call kids soft who have to digest so much content that is so horrific on a daily basis since they were born. It's just everything on screen showing them the worst of humanity all the time. I can't call them soft.
They should build up some tolerance. Come on, by now.
It builds up everyone's psychologies.
I've got some calluses.
Their psychologist is Bills, so that's fair. No, but look, I think I found this out too. It is very dismissive. I find that they think you're just being like, sure, yeah, cool, as opposed to a heart emoji, which really conveys that you really appreciate them.
I'm doubling down. I'm going like Fonzie all the time now to these kids. So I'm just letting you know, if you get a thumbs up from me, I'm not being dismissive. I'm team you, But anyhow, we got some excitement with the pod. You see some new formats. We're on Spotify finally. Like, this is great. And next week, and Seba, I might need your help, but I think we need Dave Leno on to help us pronounce all the new guys' names. I think we just go through the list of the roster, and Dave Leno can give us a phonetic pronunciation of everyone's name. I think that's what the goal is for next week's pod. Because does he practice with you for the radio broadcast?
No, he's on his own, but he always have 1 inch on me. He always know what he has to do. He practice, but we always have a little, reset right before the game to make sure that we set the right way. But usually it's for the opposing team, to make sure that we said right, especially like some of the French names that it's harder for him to say.
You give him the assist, yeah. Because I mean, who did you help Adam learn to say his last name during the pre-call?
I will not say anything. We keep this between the.
So Sim is always here to help Adam and I, because I know I butcher everyone's name. So next week I want to get Dave on so he can help us learn the names of our players. All of
Look,
them.
they sent Mariah Carey over there for the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, and she had a teleprompter with all of the phonetic pronunciations of all of these words in Italian for her. And I respect that. Okay. Not everyone knows how to do it. I'd rather, butcher it and be wrong than not try at all.
I'm on the no try. I go, hey, that guy. That guy.
Him over there.
Yeah, the number 10 guy, that guy, I like him. But yeah, so that's what we're hoping for next week, everyone. Hopefully we can bring some education. So we're all educated in the stands when we see all these new guys and go, who the hell is this guy? So that's the plan for next week. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This was episode number 53 on the new and improved X's in the U.